G'day and welcome to Disc Golf Down Under. It's Matt here, and if you've been watching Jomez Pro on YouTube lately and you've happened to catch Jeremy on there, I'm sure you've heard him talking about his Bushnell. It's almost turning into a drinking game at the moment. Some of you might ask, well, what's a Bushnell? A Bushnell is a company and they make sporting goods and they're synonymous for their laser rangefinders. So that's what Jeremy's talking about. So do you need a laser rangefinder to play disc golf? So I'm going to look at that question. And I'm also going to review an alternative to the Bushnell, and it has a great name of the Boblov LF600 series laser rangefinder. So let's jump into it. So firstly, what is a laser rangefinder and how does it work? Well, they're basically a little box like this, and they have some optics on the front. And what they do is you look through them, they have a little eyepiece, you point it at your target, press a button, and what it does is it fires a laser at the target, and it comes bouncing back to the rangefinder. And what it does, it has a little clock inside, some fancy electronics that measures the time for the light to go out, hit the target and come back. And it uses that to calculate the distance. Now, speed of light's pretty quick, very, very fast. Nothing can travel faster than it. And if you fire the laser at a target about 100 meters away, that laser light takes 1 microsecond to go out 100 meters, or less than 1 microsecond to travel 100 meters and come back to you. So that's 1/1,000,000th of a second. And these rangefinders are accurate down to less than a meter. And for that to be the case, the accuracy of the clocks inside these rangefinders have to be down to the nanosecond level. And that's where you're paying the money for. The more accurate the rangefinder, the more money it is, and that's because of the internal electronics to measure the time it takes for the laser to hit the target and return. So the question is, do I need a rangefinder to play disc golf? And well, the answer for most casual games is no, you're not going to need it. It's only when you're going to be getting into the serious competition and when you're maybe at a course that you've never played before. Rangefinders are great, so you can pull them out, you can measure the distance to the basket, so maybe you've got an upshot on a par 4 or par 5, or maybe you even want to check the distance on a par 3 to make sure that it matches up with the tee card. The other great thing that you can use them for is maybe there's a water hazard. And you can use the rangefinder to see where does the water start, how many meters away, and how far do I have to throw it to clear the water. You could also use it to find out how far it is to a given tree. So they can be very useful, but generally for casual play, they're not going to be used very often. Some people swear by them and they're using them all the time. You'll also see them in pro competition occasionally now. I believe Kevin Jones has used them in competition and other players as well. And of course, Big Germ talks a lot about his Bushnell. Personally, I use mine when I'm in a competition on a foreign course, never play it often, and I need to know the distance to the basket. So maybe 2 or 3 times around in competition play. And one of the questions that might be asked is, are rangefinders legal? And the PGA has ruled on this, and yes, they are legal. You can use them at any time during play, as long as they don't affect the 30-second rule of throwing. So let's have a look at Bushnell. As we said before, Bushnell is a company. They make a lot of different devices. They make scopes for rifles, rangefinders, telescopes, etc. So they're primarily an optics company. And they've become a bit of a synonymous name, just like iPad or iPod with Apple. A Bushnell's become a bit of a synonymous name for rangefinders. Now, Bushnell devices aren't cheap. The cheapest rangefinder from Bushnell in Australia is $550, which is it's quite a lot of money. And they range up to $800 for their top of the line model. And I don't know about you, but $800 is a lot of money. I can buy a bag, a good bag, a stack of discs and a basket for $800. So would I be spending $800 on a rangefinder? No. Would I be spending $400 on a rangefinder? No. So yeah, Bushnell, great device. I have used one previously in other applications, but would I buy them for disc golf? No. So the other point of notice is that Bushnell rangefinders, the golf ones, are designed for ball golf, and they do have some features that are in there for ball golf, and just be aware of that, and that some of those features may not necessarily be useful for disc golf. As I said, I ain't spending $400 on a rangefinder, so I had a bit of a look around for an alternative. And if you jump on eBay, you'll see, yeah, there's lots of different rangefinders out there, ranging from as little as $30. But if you read the reviews, you'll find that a lot of these don't last very long, or they may not be very accurate. What I did find is a great little device from a company that I've never heard before and has a fantastic name. It's called Boblov. And this little rangefinder here, I picked it up for, well, at the time it was selling for $120. And with a 10% special on eBay and another coupon, I got it for less than $100. So not a bad price. So some basic specs on the Boblov rangefinder. So the model number is, the one that I've got is the LF600G, and it's 118 millimeters in length, it's 75 millimeters high, and it's 40 millimeters deep. And it weighs 168 grams, so relatively light. And it comes in two versions. This is the white version, and there's also a black version. The range is from 6 meters up to 600 meters accuracy of 1 meter. And I have read some reviews, they said it will work up to 1800 meters range in good conditions. But we don't really need that for disc golf. Anything up to about 200 meters is all you need. So the viewfinder has a 6 times magnification on it. So when you look through it, everything is magnified by 6, which is good for when you're looking at a basket over 100 meters away. It brings it up nice and close. It has a 3.7 volt, 800 milliamp hour rechargeable battery. And it has a little port on the back for recharging via a micro USB cable. It says the rechargeable battery has 15,000 scans in a single charge. So it has 3 modes, which we'll talk about, including range finding and a speedometer. And it's also water resistant, so you can play with it in the rain. So features wise, there's 2 models. This is the LF600G, and there is another version for an extra $30, which is the LF600AG. And it includes a feature called slope compensation. So it's designed more for ball golfers, and when you're looking at a target uphill or downhill. And just like in disc golf, if you're throwing a disc uphill, it's not going to go as far. And so the ball golf laser rangefinder, it takes into account that, and it makes an adjustment for the trajectory of the ball. So do you need to spend an extra $30 for the slope compensation? I didn't get it. I didn't see a need for it. I'm not sure how well it would work for disc golf. Give it a go if you want. Let me know in the comments down below if you've got a rangefinder with slope compensation and whether it does any good for you. So I bought mine from eBay. You can also pick it up on Amazon and numerous other places. It comes in a box, and this comes also with a carry case. So a nice little soft carry case with a magnetic flap on it, and a carabiner that you hook onto your bag. Also includes a micro USB cable for charging, a soft cloth for cleaning the optics, and also a user manual. So the rangefinder has a couple of buttons on it. So you've got a mode button on the front, you've got a range finding button at the back there, and then you've got a selector switch here to select whether you want it to vibrate or not. So if you flick it across onto vibrate mode, when it locks onto the target and it's got a locked on target, it will vibrate the device so that you know that it's got a lock. So you can switch between meters or yards. So by default, it's set up to operate in yards, and you can hold the mode button to switch it over to meters, which is very easily done. And it's basically point and shoot. You hold it up to your eye, look through it at the target, and then press the button, and it will take a range for you. Also has a diopter adjustment on there, so that if your eyesight is a little bit different or you wear glasses, you can turn the wheel and adjust that as well, which is good to have. And as we mentioned, there's 3 modes. So the first mode is just a simple, you point and click it and it will give you a distance to the target, or you can hold the button down and it will give you continuous ranging. So you can scan over an object and it will give you a constant reading in meters. The second mode that you can flick onto is called pin seeker or flag lock. And you can press the button and it will go into lock mode, and you can scan across the field of vision. If you point it at, like, it's designed for a golf flag, but it works perfectly well on disc golf baskets on the band. You just hit the band and it locks onto that target. And yeah, very, very useful. And then the third mode is that I've never used, but it's got a speed measurement. So you can act your own policeman and go out there and measure the speed of cars or whatever. I guess you could possibly use it to measure the speed of golf discs if you could track them. And apparently the speedo works from 20 up to 300 kilometers an hour. So yeah, another handy feature possibly to have. So I've had the Boblov LF600G for a little bit over 12 months. What do I think? Well, it's just fantastic. It's not too expensive. It's a great product. Point and shoot, easy to read, doesn't take too long to use. You know, it can be sitting in your case on the side of your bag, pull it out, take a measurement, takes 5 seconds, put it back in your bag. Yeah, very easy to use, not too heavy. Charging wise, I've never had to recharge it since I bought it. So I've had it for 12 months, it's been in my bag, it's been to a number of tournaments. I use it during practice as well. And I checked the other day, it was still at about 70% charge. So plenty of life in it. It's easy enough to plug into your micro USB, and it's got an LED on it, so it flashes red when it's charging and then green when it's fully charged, which is also great. The flag lock function is great. I love using that. Locks onto disc golf baskets perfectly, and the case that it comes in is perfectly okay. Some retailers give the option of a hard carry case as well, which you might want to look at, but the one that it comes with, it's got a belt loop on it, carabiner that you clip onto your bag. And yeah, I love the nice, strong magnetic lock on there as well. Also has a lanyard that you can use to put around your wrist if you want, and use that to keep it secure. But yeah, feels good in the hand, easy to use, press the button. Yeah, fantastic. Weather-wise, I've played with this in the rain, no problems with water. Yep, it'll handle a bit of rain. So this thing, when you basically want to use it, point, press the button, we'll turn it on, and then you can put it into flag lock mode, but with the first press, scan your target, it gives you your meters through the display. After 8 seconds, it will then turn itself off automatically, so no issues with drainage of the battery. And then there's also the continuous ranging method. Hold the button down in mode 1, and that will hold it and keep it in continuous scanning mode, so it will just update the meters inside the display. I also like that it's got the vibrate function, so it tells you when it's locked on target. That's good, gives you a positive feedback there. And it's great to have a charging indicator too, so you know when it's charging and when it's fully charged. So final thoughts. Well, do you need a rangefinder for disc golf? Well, it depends how serious you are. As I mentioned, if you're just playing casual golf, you're a beginner, not really going to get much value out of it. But if you start playing competitively, your higher levels, and you want to play well, very, very useful, particularly if you're in wooded areas or hilly courses. So as you know, hills and trees can play with your depth and distance perception, so it can help to give you a good accurate distance. And this is very accurate. It does give you the readings to within 1 meter. And look, if you've got $500 to spend, you know, if you want to go for top of the line, go for the Bushnell. No problems with that. Yeah, good luck. They are a good device from all I've heard, but they're the Boblov does the job for more than a quarter of the price. If you're also into ball golf, you may want to consider the slope compensation model. So for the Boblov, it's the LF600G. It is $30 extra, and yeah, it does compensate for uphill, downhill shots. But overall, the Boblov LF600G, great product, lightweight, durable, has a great charge, keeps a great charge, easy to use, accurate, and yeah, nothing negative I can say about this device. And yeah, if you look on eBay, you will see cheaper laser rangefinders out there in the $30 to $40 range, but yeah, be very careful. A lot of the reviews say that they don't last or their accuracy is not great, whereas this thing, it does the job. So that's it. I hope you found the video useful. Let me know in the comments down below whether maybe you've got a Boblov or something else, and whether you find it useful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, that helps me out as well. But if you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down, let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.